Jason, we've been talking about a state adopting Article 1, Section 10 money, using the Glint technology and offering, or there are others, I guess the state could build it on their own, but why would they want to spend the hundreds of millions of dollars and the time and all that to do it when you've done it? But however they do it, is the state going to have to build their own bullion depository? Texas has one. Does Utah have to build one? Does New Mexico have to build one?
I don't think there's any point in having a vault that sat there with the state security with nothing in it or very little in it. And I think that states can work together on this. I mean, there are already states, as you know, who have already done this, the Texas Bullion Depository. And my advice would be that they utilize the resources of each other until they get what I call critical mass, at which point I think it becomes a good idea for them to have their own vault. Yeah,
well, Tennessee looked at this, and they actually had a bill recently that talked about, should we build our own depository? It was a study bill, and the conclusion of the study was not until we have critical mass. So I think the legislatures are agreeing with you in that. Now, I get asked all the time, people walk up to me, this is almost a work of art.
Yeah, they're beautiful, aren't they?
This is a Utah gold back. Utah has been very innovative. I've got a Utah silver coin hanging on the wall, and I've got a gold back. This is 1/100th of troy ounce of 24 karat gold, and it's a 10. So it's a 10 gold back certificate because it's 1/100th of an ounce. Is there a role for gold in other forms beyond just the electronic version that's real gold held in a vault, but I can trade electronically?
I think it's very important that everybody has some real physical gold at home. I think it's really important. And you know, that can obviously take the form of gold bars, coins, or gold backs. The challenges that we've discussed before are around the margins, the spreads that were in the gold, because as I said, these are physical items that need to be managed, and they can't be, you know, they're not participating in electronic payments, and so there's a cost to that. There's a cost to make them as well, to actually create them. And that gold back is a beautiful work of art. There's a technological and innovation within that as well, but it costs money to use and manage them. So I think that they're important, but I think they play a different role to electronic transactional gold platform like Glint.
Well, what we're recommending to the states, and we've got 20 states that we're working with right now. I mean, when I wrote the book Pirate Money, I was somewhat discouraged because we'd run a bill in Texas and it got almost to the finish line, and then we had a tumult at the end of the Texas session. They impeached the Attorney General, and they had a lot of activity, and we were like 20 bills away. If we'd had 3 hours more in the session, 3 hours, we would have gotten it passed. We'd counted the votes. But I was somewhat discouraged, wrote the book, and the next thing I know, we have 20 states where legislators have read the book and they want to move forward with this. They want to have gold and silver optionally as money for their citizens. But then the next thing that comes up is, but how can we do it practically? And so I've had the privilege of meeting you and going with you and talking to these legislators and talking to the state treasurers and so forth and saying, wait, there's a proof of concept. It already works. It already exists. And we've got a CEO here who says, no, I'm willing to open up and work with you on, you know, basically you say we can be on one end of the spectrum or the other end of the spectrum. We can make it where it costs very little to the state, but you can't make anything from it, or where it costs a little bit of money, but you have a great potential. I mean, I think that's the spectrum that you're willing to discuss.
Well, listen, I wish I didn't have to build Glint. I mean, if this is a mission-driven business for me, I wish I did. I could earn a lot more money doing other things. But there's a huge problem, and it's a problem for us, and it's a problem for our children and our grandchildren. And I felt like I felt like a vocation. I had to develop this solution. In 2008, it came to me like a blinding flash, and it's powered me through, and it will continue to power me through. I don't care how we get there, but we want everybody to have their own personal gold standard. I want everybody to have their own equal opportunity to prosper. And it's been my privilege to come here and find out about how much interest there is in making this happen. And I'd rather stand on the shoulders of giants and get this done quickly, get this into the hands of the everyday people. That's what's got to happen as quickly as possible.